Okay.
So we're streaming right now, but we'll go live in a couple minutes. We'll start the show in a couple minutes. So everybody just get friendly, get situated, get your live stuff on.
Okay, so how to sell an Operation Wolf in 2 steps. Step 1, buy the Operation Wolf.
That was the first mistake.
Step
That's
2.
where you screwed up.
Step 2, call Joysticks in Houston and say, I'll sell it to you for what I bought it for. And then that was it. He did it. But I swear, as they were loading it on the truck,
Charlie,
as they were loading it onto the truck, I saw it wobbling like it was going to collapse in on itself, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm glad that's not in here anymore."
see, I have 2 nice ones, and I have like started at 400, then 300, then 200, and like I feel like I have to go and like put it in somebody's truck. Like if somebody's parked out on the street, I have to go to load it in there, and be like, I don't know how it got there.
Oh. Yeah, I think I paid and sold it for $350, and it had the pedestal all broken off. So,
Yeah, can you believe this is such an exciting story?
and then I took my clothes off. So
Now it's getting good.
now,
All right, guys, let's check out the chat. It's good to see you guys. Holy crap, we got a bunch of people. Dave from Buffalo, Mr. Peabody, K9 King. Hey, man, thanks for joining. Give 0FX, Yashizago, Johannes Kubensteiner. Boy, these are people, just really good to see you guys. Netropolis, dude, didn't know this was up today. You have no idea how much I needed this. Thanks, man. Good to see you. I think I might owe Netropolis like one of these magnets that's sitting back here.
Wait, we have to send chocolates out.
See, I know. I don't know who won last week, but we have a Space Invaders, a Satan's Hollow, and Burger Time that we're supposed to go out. And I have the packs. I got them today, so I just need to send those out. So if you haven't sent it,
the Satan's Hollow and Burger Time that we're supposed
all right.
Just mute that thing a little bit.
It's muted.
All right, cool. It's good to so Todd, look at your chat. It's just filling up.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah,
Yes.
good to see it.
Yep.
So Todd, look at your.
I gotta get that off. Yeah, I gotta mute me down.
All right, sounds good. Okay.
All right.
Make sure I'm in the right account. Why is the view screwed up for me? Did they change it again? Because, all of a sudden I can't see my chatters.
Yeah, I've got something weird here. I'm trying to.
It's down on the bottom. You either have to bust it out or, they change this weekly. They don't tell anybody about it.
I see the pop-out chat.
That went big.
Is that what you did,
so
Mark?
many people.
You did the pop-out chat?
Yep. Hemp Seeds is here. Hello, Hemp Seeds. Warrior for Christ. Yes.
Can you type in?
MGD Mills Games. Oh my gosh, some people were here so early.
Oh, this is great. No, what do you mean early?
Greaseball.
Greaseball, man. I haven't seen you in a while.
Something about 9 inches. I don't know what that means.
Murky's here. Wow.
Professor Krug.
Mr. Murky. Yes, it's good to see you guys. I just want the chat to be in line. Why is it not in line? I have this question like once every 3 episodes.
In line.
This
Bless
is
you,
gonna.
Todd.
Right.
This is gonna be a grudge match for what's in the juke.
It is. It's gonna be crazy. Someone's gonna have to pay real close attention.
I'm ready.
Oof. All right.
I've switched to light beer. So it's...
Light beer.
What?
Yeah.
I've got water.
Small can light beer.
Why'd you switch to light beer?
I blacked out last episode. I don't know if anybody could tell exactly the exact moment. It was during the Jimbo Dini interview, and then I started like harassing John Jacobson on my on my phone. He's like, "Who is this? How'd you get my number?"
And you're like, dude, I filmed for you. Like, wake up.
Oh, no, that's just. I'm glad I didn't say anything really embarrassing. Oh man.
Yeah.
I think the gist of it was, don't text me for 15 years or something like that.
That's funny.
At the end. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's roll here. All right.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with with us here on a Thursday night, and it was another day of fast-moving developments in this coronavirus emergency, and we will carefully get through it all right here with you tonight.
Nearly half of all people in Pennsylvania are now under a stay-at-home order.
Tonight, the CDC says the infected passenger passed through busy SeaTac Airport in Seattle, the first confirmed U.S. case.
And the new cases in Oregon, Rhode Island, Chicago, and Seattle. Breaking news. The first death from coronavirus here in the United States. And to give you an idea of how fast this is spreading, 7 states just today reporting their first cases of the coronavirus. And
Allegheny County is already under that stay-at-home order, while today Governor Tom Wolf added 2 more counties under that same order. That is Lehigh County and Northampton County, both in eastern Pennsylvania. Governor Wolf says staying at home will help hospitals buy more time.
Every project you get involved in, ultimately, is just going to find its way to breaking your heart. We all have our own instincts. What we have to do is back up that instinct. Is this a moment of momentum and drive? Or is this the conclusion of something? You know all these things intuitively. We all want the same thing, a great moment. This is what it takes, right?
Live from KOYR Studios in Minneapolis, Minnesota, this is Arcade Radio.
Hello, Commander. Computer reporting.
Intruder alert, intruder alert. Beware, I live. Stimulating opponent.
Hello and welcome to season, well, what is this? Season 4, episode 13 of the Arcade Radio Podcast. Today is Thursday, March 26th, 2020, and the time is now approximately 7:22 p.m. Central. Thanks for joining us in the Arcadosphere. This is your host, Adam Ovaltine. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Mark, Meet the Time Runner Shields, and Paradise Arcade Shop proprietor and occasional Hawaiian ambassador, Brian Thurston Howell Armitage III. And joining us tonight, one-time collector of the world's largest cabaret arcade game collection, owner and president of TNT Amusements, arcade historian, and previous guest from Season 1. We are pleased to present to you Mr. Todd Tuckey. Thanks for joining us.
Guys, welcome
back, Kata.
There we go.
Yeah.
Ooh,
what's happening? Did somebody bite their
Nothing.
tongue?
I was doing my Horshack impression.
I think we have a violation here, Brian. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Sorry.
All right, well, COVID-19 is upon us, and that's why we're having a good time tonight. This kind of sucks, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But for now, what are you doing now that you're stuck in your hovel holes? Mark, why don't you kick us off?
Okay, I will tell you what I'm doing. We're still working on my elevator action restore, 2 cabinets. I'm going to install a jungle hunt kit. I freaked out today because I looked at the board and I didn't recognize it as far as the pictures of what you're supposed to have. So I'm trying to figure that out. And I might do a tube swap. And this is day 13 of quarantine for me and my wife.
Wow.
And the good thing that happened in the last 24 hours, we went to the store and somehow they didn't scan all of our liquor. So I don't know what that means. Am I supposed to go back and I hold up my liquor and go, hey, I need to pay for this?
That means free liquor.
I don't know.
That's pay it forward.
To get toilet paper, I may trade, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know.
Brian, what are you working on?
Let's see. Got a couple of projects going on. I picked up a nice System 1 cabinet that was very dirty but in great shape.
Nice.
And pulled the Road Blasters out of it and dropped the Roadrunner kit in that I bought from Jason Kopp like 2 years ago.
Whoa.
And I'm looking for a System 1 cabinet. And I actually... here. I decided to use our new printer, so I'm working on reverse printing the Roadrunner marquee.
Nice.
Having some fun with that. So... and then we got just numerous other random projects going on. I've been copying boards like it's going out of style, so working on a bunch of monitor stuff, which should be fun.
I need a Xenon vocalizer board and, I don't know, a Triac board for an APB. How about that?
Well, Jason's doing the Triac board upgrade, and I told you to get me the vocalizer board. I'll copy it.
All right, sounds good.
Wow.
All right. Todd Tuckey, what are you working on right now?
Game-wise?
Yeah.
About 40 games.
40?
Well, it's just me now, so I got a bunch of stuff I'm trying to get done. Just got Richard Mays in England. His games are ready for pickup. They're sending a tractor trailer here to get his games. I'm doing that video. It's kind of lonely here.
I bet.
I get a couple of volunteers. They come in, stick around for a little bit, and then leave. But it's tough right now, guys.
I hear you.
Week and a half. I laid everybody off last Friday. It was the last day.
Well, we're gonna have to talk about that in a little bit. So, and you did ship out 3 games, right? Or you had 3 game lineup that was in that last video. What were they?
Well, let's see.
Stargate?
No, the Stargate's still here. That's going to Canada.
Okay. Oh, Canada.
Oh. Canada in the house.
There's 3 cabarets going to Canada but I haven't finished them yet. I have Mr. Deuce Castle.
Oh, cool.
Which is a conversion kit, a Stargate cabaret, which we did finish, and then Zaxxon.
Oh, okay.
Zaxxon cabaret.
I didn't know they made a Zaxxon boat anchor cabaret.
I mean, what?
Made a lot of them. Zaxxon they made a lot of, but only a few super Zaxxons.
Okay.
I like to call it stupid Zaxxon. But,
this game is stupid.
Possible to play.
Yeah.
I did videos on all these cabarets, so we did at least save them.
That's good. That's good.
We have that so people can actually see what they look like, because there's not many left in the world. So many of them got converted to the Trivia Whiz. That was the #1 conversion for Zaxxons.
Wasn't there...
People wanted the mini cabinet to go in bars. They didn't want to take up a lot of room. So Trivia Whizzes and Phrase Crazes were converted to dozens of cabarets.
Wasn't there a Sega Vector cabaret? Was there one Sega Vector that they did put in a cabaret?
No, never.
I thought there was some random cabinet. Yeah.
Well, I've been
talking to the expert.
They had that stupid Electro Home.
Oh, yeah.
That horrible monitor. God, that horrible monitor.
Well, you have the Space Fury cocktails that had some alternate
normal doors. They're 32 inches wide.
Yeah.
And I had 2. They were never vended. They broke immediately. There were 4 players, and nobody wanted them. They wouldn't fit in any doors. So we ended up pitching them. They ended up going to. They went down with the building. I took the monitor out, the logic board, and the control panels. So both of those tabletop cocktails went down with the ship.
Wow.
And I don't know what happened to the panels in the meantime. You see, you got to remember, all this stuff was worthless.
Yeah. No,
I bought 10 brand new eliminators, brand new in the box, were out. They were returns in most cases. They were 125 each.
Yeah.
And I sold them out on my driveway for $225 each.
Wow.
And you thought you were doing good getting the $225.
And even though they were converted, they were repaired. They came up with that little board that helped them from blowing up. They were blowing up. They really were. It was really bad. But
hence the name Eliminator, I guess. So
yeah.
And then the Space Furies was actually, everybody loved it, but it blew up. It was dead in 2 weeks. And
G08.
Oh God, what an awful monitor.
Yeah. We've had a few conversations about that monitor on the show.
power supply sucked, the monitor sucked, and the board cage sucked. Just an awful, complete design of junk.
I hear you.
I hear they're a great way to burn your what? Yeah, how do you really feel? But it's like a great way to burn your friend's house down if you just give one to them.
Yeah, here, have this Go8 monitor.
Yeah, the technology sucked, but the games were terrific. Tax, I think, was their best one.
Yeah.
Oh, TaxScan's an amazing game. I mean, that really is a neat one. And it's funny because the technology was terrible, but the picture on them when they were working was phenomenal. I mean, they really were beautiful tubes when they were working. We actually had one catch fire the other day, though. So, I mean, legitimately, we're sitting in the shop. We turned on Star Trek. The next thing we know, there's a fire. It's like, that's not good.
Oh.
Well, I'll tell you what I've been working on. I've been working on just working from home and being alone. It's been real sad. I have been working. I did start shuffling some things in the basement. I think I might actually make a pinball room in the back of the house, which is the worst idea. I got to move 3 pins from the general area, take them apart so I can get them into a back bedroom and set them up. But that's coming, you know. I do have the brand new playfield on that Xenon, which is pretty fun. Oh, I did do one thing for a friend out there. If Gaines McDonald is listening tonight, he's the co-founder of the CAPS group, the Classic Arcade Preservation Society on Facebook. Anyway, he's the one that does most of the posting, does most of the moderating. Great guy. He also has a Xenon. His soundboards gave out, so I said, just send them to me. I'll fix them for you. And I finally got around to doing that. So did some troubleshooting, and it ended up being the vocalizer board. There's 3 little diodes that like to burn out, and a voltage regulator that I replaced, and she's off to the races. So I hope he got that today, because I sent it back to him 2 days ago, and maybe he's playing some Xenon right now. So I think it's time to move on.
Good evening. The Arcade News, arcades, pinball, industry alumni, arcade openings, collecting, celebrities, world record holders, operators, coin-op, conventions, new products and gadgets, gamers. The Arcade News.
I'm Brian McLeod. I'm Adam Stevens.
And I'm Tom Rutherford.
And now, the Arcade News with Brian McLeod.
This is the Arcade News. Welcome. We're going to keep it kind of quick tonight.
Oh, that's sad.
How appropriate.
From Oregon Live. So a lot of, and this is actually happening with a number of vendors. Quarter World is delivering games to Portland homes. So you can actually rent games from them. They'll bring it to your home. They'll wipe it down. They'll set it up, and you can rent an arcade game since you can't go to the arcade.
Oh.
What we've actually been seeing here is that Summit Amusements, which runs a lot of the routes locally, is doing the same thing. And I think a number of different arcades and route operators are starting to pick up on this and do home rentals with the coronavirus going on to try and offset some of the losses they're going to see from really nobody going out and playing these games on location.
And no coughing. No cough. Who's coughing on the show?
I covered my mouth. I need more coffee.
Social distancing. Wait a minute. Okay.
And I'm buzzing.
It's literally what
Let's
we're doing.
go, Robert.
Well, can you get me another cup of coffee? I'm dying.
So, I mean, have you guys seen anything about this? Have you seen any news of this? Are you guys renting any games?
I'm not.
I'm not. Like what?
We rented a a lady booked a pool table for 2 weeks from today. That's when our party was. She called me up and she begged me. She said her kids are going nuts. And so we drove it out there last Friday. I said, you can have it for a whole month.
Nice.
Yeah. So what am I going to do? I couldn't deliver it after Friday, so I figured I'd drop it off, and she paid for a month rental. So a month rental is twice her daily rate. And her kids are now, I'm sure they're going to still drive her nuts. But
they're going to be pool sharks after this.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll teach them a new. Oh, here you go, Walt. Here. We're still selling stuff. A lot of stuff on Greed Bay. I'm listing a ton of stuff. My daughter is coming in photographing stuff so we can put parts up. I got so many circuit boards, just tons of them. I just listed a quantum board on eBay.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Now, do you do that? Is that on an auction or is that on a buy it now?
No, we just do a buy it now.
And what
auctions just take for? No, wait a minute. Do I have that as an auction? I don't remember now. I may have put that up as a 7-dayer, but I think it was just a buy it now. I'd have to look on eBay, but we have about 1,000 auctions up there.
Nice.
That's a constant, income source. I love it though when I get somebody hits the buy it now and then they hit the PayPal, pay it, and then I get an email that says, "Did you ship it yet?"
Yeah, like 2 seconds later, right? You have that up as a buy it now for $1,600
plus tax and freight. Now the interesting thing about it is I had a second one. Jason Kopp offered me $1,500 for it about a year ago. I found one, clean as a whistle, but I had no way to test it because I don't have a quantum or any set up. So I shipped it to him. He offered, he said, "I'll give you $1,500. He paid it. I shipped it to him. I got an email back like 2 days later. He says it worked perfect. So since this was from the same source, I can only assume it works. But who knows? It's untested officially. I like to test stuff before I list it. When I put all those pole positions up, I checked them and I said, "This doesn't work. This doesn't work. This works. This doesn't."
Why'd you check them? You could just list them all as non-working, because by the time they get to the customer, they won't be.
I haven't had any problem. Yeah, thank you, Walt. Thanks. I haven't had any problem yet.
With the pole positions?
Looks like it's $1,600 buy it now for the quantum.
I only have bottom boards. A lot of people, if you follow my listings on KLOV, when we did the centipedes, I tested 50 centipede boards. Actually 60. And we had 10 that either worked or almost worked. I kept them, and then I sold the 50 as non-working because they didn't work.
Yeah.
One guy bought them all. And the same thing with Donkey Kongs. I want to test everything at once and then blow them all out as a package.
People lately, the pattern has been they put untested when it's actually tested and not working. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but that's been a horrible pattern.
Well, I say untested if it's really, what JAMA board, that's what I hate when somebody says the JAMA board is untested.
Yeah.
Then they have an auction up of a JAMA board that is tested and they have a picture of it on the screen.
Right. So they tested it and didn't work. I mean, like your quantum, if you don't have a way of testing it, it legitimately is untested.
Yeah, I took pictures. It's detailed, but as I said, Jason will corroborate that the board worked fine, but that maybe this one won't.
This looks on it. It looks great. I got the auction up right now. It's a buy it now at $1,600. It looks super clean.
And it probably came from a quantum. Do you know? In Wildwood, New Jersey, I used to have arcades down there. I had a quantum down there in a location. It made $4 a week. Nobody wanted it. Nobody played it. And then I put it up on my my old price sheets. I used to actually mail out prices of games. I used to sell Quantum for $399.
Oh my God.
That's the price. But that's all. Tempest was $225. Missile Command was $175. There's that beautiful Quantum. But nobody could give two flying hoops about Quantum. And it was a beautiful game, but nobody cared. And, nobody bought it, and I don't know what happened. Same with Major Havoc. I had one dedicated Major Havoc. I sold it for $7.99.
Oh my God!
Worked great. I tried to buy it back from the guy, and he hung up on me. Bang!
You know what I bought my Quantum for? I get in trouble for this. I picked my Quantum up for $50
plus tax.
No tax. Cash deal.
Oh.
All original. I have my Quantum is super clean. I haven't done any restoration on it. The only thing is,
you had to take the dead body out of it.
Some idiot drilled a free play button, which drives me nuts because the game has a free play mode, right? And it's like
a lot. Typical in nut cases. It happens a lot. And, I think my neatest purchase was something like that. When you said 50, there was a distributor. He used to run the record shop at Eastern Music. Really nice guy. Lived in Jenkintown, next town over. He called me on the phone. I'm going to say this is 15 years ago. And he says, Todd, he says, we're going to be moving because my wife and I are moving. I got a game from Eastern that I want to get rid of. It doesn't work, and you can have it for $100. It's an Asteroids. So I'm thinking, well, he says, I got it when it was pretty new, but it doesn't work now. So I said, okay, I'll buy it. So we went over and picked it up. The guys bring it back, and it was an Asterek.
Oh, jeez. That's
with a bad fuse, with a blown fuse. An Asterek. It was brand new. They Eastern had to take 2 of everything. Never went on the route. It was like brand new. It went overseas. I sold it for $1,800. Now, this is years ago. It was brand new, and it went overseas someplace. I don't remember who bought it, but
wow.
I was lucky enough to get to play that down at Free Play when Jonathan Taylor brought Ted Stryker's original Aztec to Free Play Florida. And you hear about these games that are incredibly rare, and some of them are just terrible. Like, they're rare because they were not good games, right? So they trashed them all. That was a fun game, and the graphics and the presentation, I mean, everything about it was amazing. Yeah.
It was a beautiful piece of equipment. It really was, but it never made any money. I did have an Aztec on my route years ago. It ended up getting converted to another game because I remember selling the bubble.
It got converted to Street Fighter 2.
And that was 20 years ago, maybe. I junked the Cosmic Chasm.
Yeah.
I took the monitor out because it was a Wells Garner, but nobody wanted it. I even had it on the forums, I guess, years ago. Nobody wanted it. And,
when I first started collecting, there was a local guy who would get a lot of trailer loads of games in, and he'd part them out, and he got a lot of grief for doing this. But he would keep putting the games up for, here's a Mario Brother for $400. Nobody would buy it. He'd part the game out and sell the parts for $800. And it was interesting because at the time, just people didn't value it.
Yeah.
That stuff came up now, they'd be gone in seconds.
Nobody did. Nobody valued it. It's these beautiful equipment. I mean, we get games in, and people have just treated them. We just got a Terminator 2 pinball in, and the owner it playfield's gorgeous, the cabinet's gorgeous, but they never did anything to it. I think it's the original rubbers that are on it and such. They just left it to rot, and that's what people did back then. Nobody cared. But at least they're finding new life. Now, a lot of people know this. But I have a very rare game that I bought brand new. It was a closeout, really. It was $500 from Eastern Music. It was vended for like a week and returned. And I remember Phil Sternberg. He says, "Todd, I'll sell it to you for $500." So I bought it. It's a Cocktail Sega Digger. 1979. And it's one of those cocktails on the spindly legs. I never liked them. But the same legs that Frogger cocktails were on, and Potato used a similar cabinet. Yep. But I vended it in a nightclub for a month after I got it. Oddly enough, the nightclub, it was called the East Side Club in Philadelphia. It was in the basement. You had to go down a flight, and your feet used to stick to the floor. Oddly enough, Simple Minds, before they became big, played there.
Oh, cool.
And it was amazing because I heard them practicing their big hit song that was in the Breakfast Club that put them on the map. But before that, they were playing in these crappy little clubs. And somebody sat on my digger and the one leg broke off. I pulled it out. There we go. song I heard while I was working on the games, because I would go there before they'd open. They were open. It was a nightclub, so they didn't open until like 9 o'clock at night. It was after hours. But
Todd, I have this thing for Sega cocktails, and I have an extra set of spindly legs. NOS.
His spindly legs.
Actually, I brought the game in. I've had the game in my house its whole life now. It was in my first house I was in for since I was born, and then we moved into the new house in 2007. I brought it with me. My daughter actually used the cocktail digger. She put a blanket over it, and she recorded her album on top of it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
It served double duty. But I've brought it here to TNT, and we are going to eventually feature a video. It is the very best 2-player game ever made.
Wow.
There's nothing superior.
Better than Atari football?
Yes. Oh, yes.
So I will have an extra spindly leg if you need one.
Spindly legs.
The ones that are, because they cracked off, right? Like that pot metal would crack when you kicked it.
That's right. And it would also break away from the wood on the cabinet.
Yep.
I like that.
I'd go grab it, but we had a lot of difficulties with me walking around the shop last time.
That I was going to say that's the ball from a Marble Madness, but it's too big.
That is a candlepin bowling ball, the precise size of the Atari trackball. So.
The 4-inch. Okay.
Yep.
4-inch. We just did a trackball for a missile command. If you watch the videos, I show that in one of our last videos was a missile command that went out.
That's awesome.
But thank goodness Arcade Shops makes those shafts.
Yeah.
You got to have a 4-inch shaft.
Yeah. Tell that to Greaseball.
Anyway. Hey.
You have to rebuild those.
So, moving on
in the news?
Moving on in the news.
Yes, the news.
With Gizmodo, there's this terrible fight stick thing that people who don't really play fighting games will like that was done for the Nintendo Switch. And anybody who actually does fighting games has a Brook Universal Fighting Board. But it looks really cool. It's $45 cheaper than Nintendo's 8BitDo Solutions. It kind of hooks onto the Switch and gives you a joystick and buttons to play the fighting games. Makes a little neat console. Might be fun in a plane, but...
You know, and I gotta say, 8BitDo makes some pretty nice stuff.
They do. The one biggest problem with them is that with their fighting stuff is that a lot of it is difficult to modify with the other buttons and joysticks that are available, which is what a lot of the fighting guys, as soon as they get stuff, they go and like completely revamp it.
Which is weird because it's like, okay, you bought this thing and now you're gonna just replace everything.
Well, it's like Dodge Omnis in the '80s, right? You buy this cheap car and then you spend like $30,000 doing all this stuff to it. I never understood it.
I had a 1979 Dodge Omni. The only thing I ever did is put oil in it.
Yeah. Well, hey. And
I parked it a few times.
I'll give a shout out for a new product, Jabrister, which I have not tried this product, but there are a number of different free play buttons out on the market. Listed on the 24th of March, a free play solution for the games. It's a small little kind of tactile switch that goes through the coin door, through the coin slot, and allows you to activate your micro switch from the outside with a little kind of nicely printed button. These are up on KLOV, $10 a piece, 5 for $45, or you can get 20 of them for $100, which is pretty cheap if you're trying to do a free play solution.
This is like the thing where it's got like a quarter printed on it. You just press it; it's like flat.
No, this is kind of a competitor for that. So that's why I was bringing it up. Like the quarter ones have been out for a while. This is a slightly different one.
Okay.
It says coin up on it. It looked pretty neat. He did a ribbon cable so you can pass it through the coin slot.
Yeah, that's
which is pretty nice. But
cool.
Yeah, I mean, check it out. It's a neat product. Hopefully, within the next 3 weeks, we'll have an announcement of a lot of new products coming from our shop, and I can be self-centered again. But right now, we're going to give some shout-outs to some other people.
All right.
Back in '82, I used to be able to throw a pigskin quarter mile.
Back to the cave with Time Runner.
Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
Welcome to Back to the Cade, everybody. We're time traveling to March 26th, 1976. Todd, where were you on March 26th? Sorry to distract you there.
No, the endless texts.
Yes.
March 26th.
1976.
Where was I? Well, let's see. I was 21 years old.
21. Oh, okay.
So I was probably still in college.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
In Temple University.
Oh yeah. Temple University.
No. I was working. Then, because 76. I was working at the college at Temple. I had graduated. No, I didn't graduate until the next year. So I was not only working there, but I was in films class. I had the distinction of graduating in 77 with Bob Saget. He and I were in the same film class together. We were the only ones to get an A-. As the professor said, "I don't give A's."
Oh, wow. Okay.
We were the only ones that got an A-. There were only 16 of us in the class. But
is that where you got your love for 16 millimeter film?
Oh, no, I had that for years.
Yeah.
We were editing. As a matter of fact, I always wonder if Bob got the idea. I had put together a 9-hour film on 16 millimeter using clips and pieces from different movies. And I edited them. Back then, you didn't have the editing abilities of video.
Sure.
So you literally had to splice the film and cement it together. And I would put clips together like I had a Jaws trailer. That it was the 60-second spot they would run on TV. And at the very end, it would say, "And then it becomes," or something like that. And then I cut in a clip of The Flying Nun at the end. And I used to run it at Temple University. We had a student activity center lobby, and I ran movies there. We ran them about 8 hours a day on a big screen.
Wow.
Film.
That's great.
It was a lot of fun.
So,
And,
Mark,
I
what
always
was
wondered
happening?
Because
And
Bob Saget used to watch in the lobby too.
Yeah.
He loved watching these clips, and I wonder if he got the idea of the America's Funniest Videos, the blooper stuff. We call them bloopers.
Northeast Camper asked if you still keep in touch with Bob from time to time.
If I still keep what?
Keep in touch with Northeast Camper with Bob Saget from time to time.
Yeah, when he visited in Philadelphia, my daughter and I went down. He had us backstage, and we reminisced about the old times.
Oh,
so he's
very
a busy
nice.
man, but he's very funny. He was at the TLA Cinema. That's the second movie theater in the country that started running Rocky Horror Picture Show at midnight.
Oh, cool.
It was the very second film. By the way, here's some trivia for everybody. What feature, Rocky Horror Picture Show was the first movie in the United States, very first movie to be released in what?
CinemaScope?
No. First movie in the country to actually be released in Dolby Stereo.
Oh.
It beat out Litsomania by 1 month.
Interesting.
Isn't that something?
That is
out of all these movies, this little tiny movie is filmed and recorded in Dolby Stereo and released. Not many theaters had Dolby back then, of course, but that's interesting. Everybody would think it was the first movie to feature transgender, which is not true either, but a lot of people never get that question. So if you're in a trivia or a quizzo someplace and they ask that question, now you'll know the answer.
Nice.
So how different is Temple now than it was back then?
Well, my movie theater that I designed is gone. They because nobody's sitting and watching movies in big dark rooms anymore. It's kind of all in Temple. It's become laptop type thing. So I went back to visit once, but it was nice. It was interesting to walk around my old haunts. I still keep in touch with all my students. I had 30 students working for me. We ran 2 game rooms at Temple, 2 different locations. And we had, of course, all brand new games, all the latest stuff. But Temple got a huge cut. Huge.
Huge.
60%. 60% Temple got and 40% the vendor got. It was back then, because the college, you had this huge crowd of people. and all they did was play games. I mean, the game room was always packed with people.
Speaking of games, we're going to talk about the Telstar. And what is Telstar? Let's listen into this 1976 commercial and find out.
You're watching the most exciting game you will ever see on your TV set. Telstar by Coleco, with 3 different games. Telstar Tennis,
3.
with digital scoring, variable speeds. Telstar Hockey. Each player controls a goalie plus a forward on the other side. Oops, a goal. And Telstar Singles Handball, a game you play yourself. Telstar Handball, Tennis, Hockey. All 3 at an exciting low price. For great family fun, hitch your TV to a Telstar by Coleco.
Oh my
I
God.
love Coleco.
Did you own a Telstar, or were you not a console guy at that time?
I didn't. We got an Odyssey. My brother got an Odyssey for a Christmas present, and he fiddled with it a little bit, but that was about it. We didn't do much with it.
No.
That's where you wiped the overlay on your screen.
Yeah,
Right.
Those were cool. It's a sought-after console. And you can buy Pong in any flavor. So I don't know. I have a what did I just recently get out? I have a Pinball Breakaway by Atari, and that's got a video pinball and a version of Breakout, and it's color. And I think it came out in 1977. Takes 6 C batteries or a battery eliminator.
Hopefully, you didn't leave the batteries in it.
Yep. Exactly. But this was clean as a whistle. It was in the box when I bought it. So, I don't know, a lot of these games they got bought, I think put on a shelf and never played. But my brother and I used to play Super Pong 4 with the paddles that you could disconnect from the machine. And, so that was fun.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
I have a Vectrex. It's been in the box for years.
No.
And a whole bunch of games. I don't even know where it is. It's in my house someplace. But I only played it a couple times.
I have a lot of those things that are somewhere in my house someplace. Mark,
hey Adam, would you happen to know what's in the juke?
What's in the juke?
All right. Is it over? Hello and welcome to What's in the Juke, the weekly show where we take a moment in time, in this case, March 26th, 1976, and play a small segment of a song, and you're supposed to guess the song title, which you will be awarded a half point for.
Half point.
And you can also give a shot at guessing the artist, and you'll get another half point for that.
Half point.
What did you get both?
Full point.
What if nobody knows it and there's a fight? Oh no. All right. Begin. Here we go.
We did make some modifications to the list, so you may see some surprises here, Mark. But that was just in the interest of having something to play for the audience.
I see how that goes.
We're going to just mix it up a little bit. Here comes your first clip. Again, we want the artist and the name of the track, if you can get it. Here we go. That's such an annoying intro.
It almost sounds like Brian's. Yes.
It's awful. Yeah. Oh, Rick Dusk is in the. Rick Dusk is in there. He got a little bit of a spelling error, but I'm gonna give it to him. It's SWAT. And who is the artist?
That's a hard one.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I'll accept various artist. The first person to type various artist will get the half point for that. So yeah, half point.
Half point.
And nobody typed various artists. It's amazing. Okay. All right. Well, then we'll just go on to the next track. Okay, here comes your clip. I don't know if this is the right version.
That seems a little weird, that one.
Yeah. That seems a little too modern too, doesn't it?
Yeah, do you think somebody
Arcade
covered it?
Hollywood got it.
Oh, Arcade Hollywood in
Boogie
with
Fever.
Boogie Fever.
It is. That is the correct track. It is not Pointer Sisters. That's right.
Brian Jones has stuff that sucks for 100.
Yep. Welcome to the show. Yeah, I'm reading your I'm reading your chat message, Brian Jones, and I'm really impressed. I love it. So,
Ewok is here.
Silvers, Arcade Hollywood. Okay, who got the name? Arcade Hollywood.
Arcade Hollywood as well. So they've got a full point.
Boom, full point. Okay, here comes your next track. That was Boogie Fever by the Silvers. Well, this is interesting.
I like this one.
I know the intro to this pretty well. This is one we'll get banned for because they love to ban us for this band. But see if anybody gets it. Styx, Lorelei, Rick Dusk, boom. Dude,
pushing through to the first place lead.
Oh my God.
Full point.
All right, we got a real fight going on here.
Good job, Rick Dusk.
Yep, Lorelei by the Styx, and here comes your next track.
Oh, I don't know this one.
I think the audience will.
It's made by a coffee company?
It is made by a coffee company.
Come on down to Todd Tuckey's college
he's close.
movie theater.
He's really Arcade Hollywood is in this for the win. He is really close. Folgers, not the yeah.
You're okay. I'll take you on a trip beside the ocean and drop the top at Chesapeake Bay.
We're getting closer. Oh, that's the clip right there.
Feels right.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Nobody's got it?
Nobody's got it. Somebody got close.
Yeah. I'll play it one more time here.
Send you on your way. Moonlight. Feels right.
Rick Dusk is in it.
Got it.
For a half point.
Half point, you got Starbuck.
And
you know what? I think I'm going to give the other to Arcade Hollywood.
Yeah, it was good. It's Moonlight Feels Right. Okay, here comes your next one. Oh. I like... Oh, Arcade Hollywood again. Bam. Half point.
Half point.
And the song is... So it was the Bee Gees, and the song is... It is... You Should Be Dancing.
Got the title too.
Oh, wow.
Full point.
For that guy. Man, nobody's going to catch up.
Begin.
Okay, you guys begin. You Should Be Dancing by the Bee Gees.
Halfway there.
All right, here comes your next track. Wow, that's a big drum intro. That could be any song. It really could.
Oh, but that double hi-hat, though, you know it.
Yeah. MGD is in it. Mills Game Dev. Steve Miller, he got that. Who's next? Not Space Cowboy. Take the Money and Run. Who had that? Brian Jones? Brian Jones is on the board with a half a point.
Half point.
And we got a new player up on the board before he goes away.
I got it. MGD Mills Game Dev.
Whew. Wow. All right. Here comes. This is a tight race, I'm telling you. Here comes your next track. We're down to the last four.
Okay.
Somebody's going to get this.
It was March 1976. What else did you have to do?
That's funny is that there's people complaining of delay, but everybody has the same delay except us. We're just waiting on people. And it is still the one, Arcade Hollywood, but I see way up at the top, Andy Baldwin is on the board. And who got the artist? Orleans was also Andy Baldwin. Is that right? No. Nope. Arcade Hollywood, half point. Arcade Hollywood and Andy Baldwin split that one up for a half point.
Half point.
All right, next track.
Got it.
Here we go. Okay.
Oh, what could that be?
I don't know. Maybe we should play it again.
Is this the real?
No.
Yeah, here we go. And that is Queen. And now, who was first? Andy Baldwin.
Andy Baldwin.
And Bohemian Rhapsody was Andy Baldwin also. So I think we give him a full point. Am I right?
That's
Full
right.
point.
You're right.
All right, cool. All right, next on, here comes your next track. Wow, that's a incredibly long intro also. But Hall & Oates is already on the board. Andy Baldwin, boom. And it is not Sarah Smile. But he does get a half point for that. And it is She's Gone. Andy Baldwin got it right after all.
Full point.
Oh, man. So right now, Arcade Hollywood is still in the lead with 3 points. Andy Baldwin in second place with 2.5 points. And Rick Dusk pulling up third with 2 points. And this is our last song, guys.
This is tight. Anybody could win.
Anybody. Well, yeah. If you make this one worth 3 points, then anybody could win.
Should we give away a prize tonight? There's so many people. We should give away a prize.
What do you got?
I have a grab bag of large fridge magnets. Should I draw one?
Sure, why not?
All right, here we go.
I can send out some chocolate.
Are you selling that chocolate? Is that on ParadiseArcadeShop.com?
We are selling the macadamia nut chocolate.
All right,
Nice.
making all kinds of racket here. I'm going to dig in here. Random arcade magnet. Okay, these are large arcade magnets. Tonight you're going to win a Bubbles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Bubbles. That's a big one. She's like a 4-inch. It's
4 inches. Hey,
this
Greaseball.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, here we go. Someone's gonna win a magnet, and did I hear chocolates too? And so
Yeah, we'll do chocolate.
all right, whatever
Second
happens.
and third will get chocolate.
Okay, here we go. Here comes your last clip. I don't know if anybody
That's a
will
good
get
one.
that. It's the best one.
Mm.
That's
John
not John
Denver,
Denver. Aerosmith, that was Andy Baldwin, and Dream On was Andy Baldwin. Am I right?
It is. He made it. He
point.
flew past Arcade Hollywood for first place.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
Yes, he did it.
That's
Andy
amazing.
Baldwin.
Oh man, Andy, one of our regulars. He's getting a Bubbles magnet. Andy, send me your details. If you want to pass, you can. We'll pass it on to Arcade Hollywood, but let us know in the chat if you want this magnet, and then send your email to Adam at arcaderadio.com. All right, guys. I think this is the part of
Interview time.
All right, let's welcome to the show one more time, Mr. Todd Tuckey.
Oh, you're back. I'm back.
Oh no. And MGD Mills Game Dev is asking Todd what that strange science rebuild was fantastic looking. I guess he's not asking. He's observing.
Yeah, there it is. It's It came out great.
Nice.
It's beautiful.
I gotta tell you, we did some fun stuff at the end. Let me turn the volume on. Jonathan Scott. There it is. A beautiful game. Well, one of our old customers, Larry, has asked to buy another game. So he wanted to buy the game, so we had to deliver it.
Is that Larry David?
He did. We had to go up here to the top of this tower. See that there? They didn't want to help. See?
Sounds like my guys.
So we took it all the way up the hill to that little window. You see that window up there?
Oh God.
My God.
All right.
But when we got to his laboratory, this is what we had.
Oh no.
There's the strange science.
Oh my God. This is loud.
Where do you want the game? Yes. We had a lot of fun with this delivery.
I see you. I see you totally did. I do have a question for you. Where can we?
I'll skip ahead. He wakes it up. Watch. This is how he lifts the head.
This is a first. We've never had a guest play a video on our video. This ought to turn out really good.
Watch how he does it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh my God. Who's pulling that up?
So you'll have to watch the whole video, guys.
Okay,
it's
well,
video 1522
where do we see those?
on YouTube, of course, by channel.
And what's your channel?
TNT Amusements.
All right.
Inc. On YouTube. We have 1,572 episodes now.
And that one was 1522. I'm gonna
1522.
Throw it into the chat.
I'm doing it. I got it.
And then
so if you want to see that full video, it's a lot of fun. It's 42 minutes, a complete gameplay of Strange Science. So in other words, you will learn every secret the game has, all the layers of programming. It has a ton of great programming.
That's one thing I love, Todd, that's one thing I really, really love about your videos is that especially when you do a pinball, you like to walk through all of the things you can do in the pinball, all the achievements.
We can, yes. Not all the videos do that. A lot of them are just, some people say they're just, fluff.
Well,
we have some in-depth videos, though, that show a lot of the games. I did a really good in-depth video on Algar. Here's a game that you never see. I shot this in high def with a tripod.
Nice.
I show you every secret of Williams Algar because most of you will never see it. There's only 377 of them out there. Well, that were made. Maybe 25 are left in the world.
Yeah.
But if you want to see it, this particular one I filmed is in Pittsburgh at Papa. They bought this machine, so it's there.
Ryan 61384 said that you're better at playing pinball with the glass missing.
Well, yeah. I need my finger play. Now I have to show you something. Matthew Mills, who was commenting earlier, made me this. Do you see this here?
What is that?
Let me activate it.
Okay.
Oh,
there you go.
Is that the Pac-Man?
This is my live sound machine.
Oh.
So when I push a button, there's Debbie Downer. Can you hear the sound effects?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, it's good.
So this is one of my fans that did this. This wonderful guy. He made this for me.
That's awesome.
He sent it to me about a week ago, I guess. There's the slap. And then the eye poke. See? And there's even a button with music tracks.
That's pretty good.
That's awesome.
He pre-recorded a whole bunch of things. It's made out of metal, beautifully made, and it has a strap so I can wear it around my neck. So when I do my live videos, I can push buttons. There's even a Steven button. Listen.
Say hold that the Todd button. Doesn't do anything.
Oh,
I don't do anything. See? That's pretty neat. That's a pretty neat sound effect. And it's portable. And you can see he even wrote on it TNT Amusement Sound Machine.
That's awesome.
How level this is, but I'm confused by the delay because I'm watching on the screen, but we're recording this, but you guys aren't seeing it for 7 seconds later.
Yeah, and if you look at the Skype feed, you'll see it. Well, except for you can't see yourself. So,
No, I can't. I don't have my Skype feed.
All right, I want to tell you. I want to first ask you a question. You just mentioned you have how many videos?
There's 1,572 live ones, and I have maybe 60 or 70 unlisted ones.
So you have 15, and so your last live one was 1572. Can you let's first just talk about COVID. What's happened to your shop? Why this might be your last video for a while, and things like that. Give us the rundown.
Well, it'll be the COVID means I don't have a staff anymore.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing now is I'm working on a lot of the games myself. I mean, I used to do it. I know how to cap a chassis. I know how to put a power supply in and such. So I'm able to do a lot of the finishing work, because when the guys left, we had almost everything done. I put a bargain basement video up just recently of games we're going to sell as is, which we can still do. I can still get the games loaded. People can still get stuff, but just not shopped anymore. We won't have the option of doing repair or our service, for instance, is on hold.
Right.
Because of the current restrictions. But the videos will continue, because on this computer, we've got 20 terabytes of storage, and I have a lot of video I've not released yet because I just didn't have the time to edit it. So I can still churn videos out without actually using, Mr. Camera to film it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I plan on keeping videos coming, but there may be one a week at this point.
Yeah.
Because there's just nothing new coming out.
Yeah.
But so
you got some ideas though, right? You got some ideas.
Oh yeah. So I have a very elaborate video, because there were basically 3 cameras on the overhaul and shopping of a $6 million man. Frank and I filmed this at a seminar at the Pin Fest 2 years ago in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. It's never been released, and it's just a ton of editing. And we filmed a lot of extra footage to interact with the seminar. If any of you ever attend our seminars, we try to make them interactive and fun. We did one at the expo in October. Some of you have seen it. We didn't have many in the audience, maybe 50, but sometimes they're filmed. Now Jeff, who's Arcade Hollywood, just told me he found the footage from Expo of my seminar, and he's going to give it to me so I can actually put my October seminar from Pinball Expo up. So that you'll be able to see that, because the seminar features stuff that's not shown in our regular videos and such. And we want to edit it rather than put raw footage up. The problem with raw footage is I don't want any language. We have little people watching. As a matter of fact, little Penny, who's 7 years old, is a big fan. And we have little Lily, who's now 2. She watches with her daddy in England. People all around the world are watching these videos, and we want to try to keep them family friendly. So that means the blooping has to happen.
Right.
That's why we can't do live streams when the guys are in the back, because it gets a little salty.
Yeah,
it's just not good.
We tend to be kind of loose on this show, but we'll mind our P's and Q's for you tonight, just in case there's a 7-year-old watching.
Well, yeah, it looks like we have 80 watching now. I'm looking at the streaming.
Not bad. For a while, we had about 95. I think there's a few people that cut out after What's in the Juke, but...
Oh, the jukebox, yeah. Well, I think everybody was surprised, the jukebox sequence. But it's always good to try different things, especially when you're, you're trying different formats to see what works well. I see Warrior for Christ in the window there. That's Obi. Obi bought the Cybernaut from us.
Excellent.
Bally Cybernaut, which was, of course, that game that kind of slipped through everybody's fingers. And I have a couple videos up that, but I guess the most popular video is with my wife's head floating around down to the Cybernaut as I work on it. I catch her head in my hand, courtesy of green screen. I've had this cough for a while. It's not. I had it before Corona, so it's not.
I've had a little bit of that too. You like wake up and you're like, "Do I have Corona? Do I have it?" No.
I think that you also get the fever with that.
Yeah, and sore throat, and then you can't breathe, and it's awful.
Yes.
So.
Yep.
By the way, you had some health issues not too long ago, and I just want to say it's really good to see you up and around.
Yeah, the heart attack. Yes, that was in the end of May, and it took a month to recover. But I had all five arteries replaced.
Wow!
Wow!
So I had the full deal.
The quintuple bypass.
It wasn't a quadruple. What would that be? A quint?
Quintuple.
Well,
what? I'm really
I feel great.
Yeah.
I sleep. I'm out like a light for 5 hours, and I'm up just like that. I just need 5 hours sleep now.
Wow.
And I'm wide awake. Now, I do get a little dozy toward the day, so I'll fall asleep for maybe 4 or 5 minutes in my chair here. I have this chair is ugly, but boy, is it comfortable. You know how you have that furniture you don't want to get rid of because it's just the greatest piece of furniture you ever had, but it's all worn out.
Well, I just want to say that I know I speak for the chatters and our team when we say we're glad to have you around. So I'm glad that operation went well and that you're feeling great.
So am I. It was cut. You know, I didn't actually mention this, but they actually brought my family in because after they sealed me up and the doctor went home for the night, it was about midnight that I started bleeding up here in my chin. Internally, and they called the doctor back. He came back from his house, they brought my family in to see me possibly one last time. They didn't think I'd pull through, but I wasn't ready to die. I knew I had to make more videos, so I pulled through. So I had a second operation that night.
Wow.
So
wow. Well, we're glad.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back to normal. No, I'm not normal.
No, but none of us are normal.
Nope.
Abnormal.
Yeah.
Hey, Todd, just as a, we got a lot of people who are kind of around the age where these things happen. What were you like? I mean, just for people to know, because people are curious about this stuff. What were you noticing beforehand, or was it nothing and then just one day, what happened?
No, it was. I was getting pains, and. Frank actually is the one that I'm going to take you over to the emergency room. I went to Disney World because it was going to be a family trip, and the doctor said I could go and just take the nitroglycerin.
Yep.
So I was taking nitro, putting it under your tongue, and whenever I felt pain, and then the pain went away in like 20 seconds. And I was taking one a day, maybe two a day, but the last day on Tuesday, I was up to 3, and that's when Frank said, "Let's go over to the emergency room," and I did, and they rolled me right in, and the next morning I was getting the operation. So it was pretty risky, I guess. I should have gone in earlier, but he said I didn't have to. He said, "You don't have to go in yet." So I went to Disney World. I came back. He said he took another test. He said, "You're okay." And they thought I had clogged stents. They thought I needed some stents. And that wasn't to be. So but I'm back to normal. So if you feel bad in here, do something about it.
Sure.
Now, Kurt ended up having a heart attack, too. He was getting pain. Now, Kurt's 10 years younger than me. And he's actually in great shape. And he wasn't feeling well, and he had the pain in the arm, and he went in right away. He got 5 stents. He was out of commission for a month. So the two of us had a heart attack the same year.
Wow.
It's been with me since 1983.
You guys have to listen to your bodies, basically.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And also, just have your doc check your cholesterol and all that crap. Make sure you're on your statins and doing the things you need to do so we can stay in this hobby, for crying out loud.
Well, that's what we want to do. We want to stay in as long as we can.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's in a different... I'm going to start another video here.
Yeah.
Let me turn. I do a lot of videos that we try to help people out. If you have a Gottlieb Monte Carlo, this video, 1471, shows how we fix this roulette wheel, which is something Gottlieb used that always requires service. They fixed their roulette wheel once they did teed off. That roulette wheel never goes bad because it uses piezo switches. But this miserable wheel uses the gold leaf switches, and the gold is shot. You have to literally take emery cloth and clean the darn things for good. Mm-hmm. It'll be fine for the rest of your life, but I wrote a letter to Gottlieb, and I never got a response. So after 30 lousy years, we got out of that roulette wheel. 30 miserable lousy years.
I have the letter. It says, "Dear Todd, thank you for your letter, and thank you for the other letters from earlier. And we are sending our top guy on this. So
our one guy."
I think I have a picture of. Let me see if I can find this picture here. I have a really great picture here. I'm working on a new video, obviously. I'm always doing videos.
Yes.
But I do have a really neat picture. I was able to get a hold of the Gottlieb repair shop.
Uh-huh.
And let me see if I can find it. Yeah, let me find it here.
It's a bunch of rats running around.
One of the videos that I really liked, speaking of you walking through a pinball machine, I was kind of looking for some roller derby theme pinballs, and you did one on roller games. And you went through all, and there's a couple different versions, and you discussed that, and so I don't know. I just really appreciate that. It's kind of a cool
roller games. Well, here's something interesting you might find fascinating. Rob Burke, who runs the Pinball Expo, he would always ask me to do a show while we eat the salads during the banquet. So he would ask me to come up with, here it is. Here's the picture. You know what? I thought it was Gottlieb. It's not Gottlieb. It's
Bally.
The Bally Customer Care Center. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh no!
Which video is this?
Yeah,
you need
one of my fans was able to make that. I thought that was so neat. But
that's funny. Nobody there.
That was
Adam's favorite game is from Gottlieb. If you find an exterminator, Todd, he has been looking for one for years.
Somebody bought cabinet.
Oh my god! If there's any game that I hate worse, it's Oh my god!
Distributor had one. They had to take two. If you were a distributor, you had to buy two of every game they made. And we had one of the prototypes, and it never worked. And I remember it looked like a doghouse. I remember I had it in one of my bargain basement. Well, back then we could only do online stuff.
This guy has that dumb game in his basement right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think there were many left. They didn't make many of them, and most junked.
I'll tell you the trick with that one, though, if you have one,
is to wheel it out to the corner and let somebody
set it on fire.
Pinball Resource has all of the stuff that you can make a complete board set for not a lot of money. Their JAMA board that's in there, they sell for $10.
Oh, we've got some worst games coming in from the chatters. Brian Jones says Exterminator rocks. And then we've got a Congo Bongo, which I agree with. I hate isometric 3D games like Zaxxon is so terrible. Why do people play that game? I don't understand. Three Stooges, Wild Western,
I love Wild Western. That's a crazy game.
I think it's
a
fun.
Great game. And the Three Stooges is really
Wait,
great.
how can you not like Stun Runner?
Gorf. Oh,
Stun Runner's beautiful graphics on that. Yeah, every game has something good to offer. We have the only Three Stooges museum in the world is 25 minutes away from TNT Amusements, and we maintain the Three Stooges video game and the Three Stooges pinball machine, which was a converted Dolly Parton.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So it's a wonderful museum, and it's only open on Thursdays.
Actually,
so if you ever visit TNT and it happens to be a Thursday, you can always go over to the museum too. But you had to be ready for eye pokes.
Spooky Pinball. Right, they just released their first pin not too long ago. What was it called?
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
You mean America's Most Haunted?
No.
That was the first one they made.
Yep.
Which games do they have? Maybe it wasn't Spooky. I'm thinking of a different.
Just did Rick and Morty.
No, Total Annihilation. Total Annihilation is also a reskinning of Dolly Parton.
Actually, at the Pinball Expo, I met the designer.
Yeah.
At one of the private parties.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun. And when I played it the very first time, actually it's in the video that I have online for the Pinfest. I played it at the Pinfest in in Massachusetts 2 years ago.
Okay.
And when I played it in the video, you'll hear me say that this feels like Firepower and Cosmic Gorilla.
Interesting.
And the guy confirmed it. He said, "Yes, you're right." He combined the elements from both games.
See, I thought it had a layout very similar to Dolly Parton.
Gorilla, Cosmic Gunfight. What am I saying? Cosmic Gorilla.
Yeah.
Cosmic Gorilla is a video game.
Yeah.
That's
still
actually
cool.
a pretty good one too. Universal, but Cosmic Gunfight. This
Sweet.
is what happens when you get older. You start to forget, but I've been forgetting for years. So
yeah, I practiced during high school.
Same level.
Hey Todd, so tell us about the time you met Bob Saget. No, I'm just kidding.
Bob. I wish I had his money.
You know what's funny is we had you on the show, our first season. Thank you for being one of our earliest guests. And we had a blast with you then, and we had a slightly different lineup at the microphones. But you did talk a little bit about your 16 millimeter and Bob Saget and all that stuff. It's nice to have this refresher because I don't remember either, and I'm sure our listeners are not paying attention every week to every episode. But we appreciate whatever you have to tell us tonight. So some other hated games out there tonight. Zaxxon equals Boat Anchor. That's quite, yeah. And Spy Hunter. Somebody doesn't like Spy Hunter.
Hey, don't. Yeah, that's
dare you.
Brian Jones. We ignore him.
He's not
I've been trying to block him on the chat. Let's see. Can I block Brian Jones? Let's see.
Yeah,
I can block him.
I don't think you should do that. He's probably
that would be mean.
He's totally devoted to us.
You have a time. There's a timeout you can put him in.
Ooh,
that's funny. Timeout for Brian. Yeah.
Brian said he didn't like Spy Hunter, and I said that's because he can't reach the gas pedal and he doesn't remember to bring his phone book to see the screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I mean, this is great. I mean, like if we asked for $1 on Patreon tonight, we'd get $80.
So what, Todd? What is your favorite game?
Favorite game. All right, let's be good. Let's do a round robin of that.
I would think it would have to be the Sega Digger.
Oh.
In terms of video game, because I played it for hours and hours and hours, and if with two players, you have to play it with two people. But I would think that would be the second favorite. I have a beautiful Route 16. I always liked that game, and I had Joe Szabo of Szabo Arcades make me the marquee. Every Route 16 in the world has a bad marquee. The paint fell off of it. This is a Centauri game, and it cost me $100 for him to make the master. But now he can sell you a marquee for like $40.
It's pretty sweet.
On the hard plastic. So I had the first one made, and now he has them on his website.
Mark,
he's somebody look up Zabo's Arcades.
Yep.
Joe does some really nice work. He's really stepped up in the last several years.
SZABO.
Done some amazing stuff.
He now has Blackwater 100 art because we had a customer that wanted it. He came over and he scanned in the art on our Blackwater 100 so we could make brand new art for it. So
that's pretty sweet.
That game, although I don't really care for it, but that game had an interesting history. That was, as everybody knows, that was Bally's swan song, and
Black Widow
were new in the box for 1,100.
We're talking about Black Widow.
Which one?
Which one are we talking about? Black Widow?
Oh no, Blackwater 100.
Wooder. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Black Widow was also closed out.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember the closeout years. Do you know the very first video game to be closed out? I know the name of it.
Huh.
I saw it, and people couldn't believe their ears. First game to be closed out in the world was GDI's Red Alert. You remember that?
I don't.
Red Alert. Red Alert. Enemy aircraft
Brian.
approaching France.
Time for you, Brian. Red
Alert closed out for $12.99.
Wow.
Do you have a Red Alert soundbite?
No,
but he has.
I've got my light
Siren.
bar in the back here.
Yeah.
I see it. Red Alert. Red
So,
Alert.
speaking of favorite games, you guys, let's round robin this. Mark, what's your favorite game? Video game.
Well, of course it's Super Pac-Man, but Elevator Action is up in the top 3, and I'm definitely Tell me an Elevator Action story.
Well, I could. We converted Elevator Action came as a kit to convert your Jungle or Jungle King, Jungle Lord,
right.
Jungle King or Jungle Hunt.
Right.
We converted a couple of them. They made a lot of money. People just loved it, and the controls feel so natural. I mean, you can just move that leaf switch joystick, that wonderful Waco stick, and hit the buttons. It's just terrific. And difficulty is everybody. When you play it on like a MAME, everybody has this damn micro switch crap.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel the same. The joystick is on leaf switch is just wonderful, and that's the way to play it. Now the Elevator Action you're going to see in the video I'm going to be putting up. What's today? Thursday. It probably won't go up until Saturday. The one that's going to England, we converted it to 220. Tato cabinets, you just move the jumper, just like an Atari game.
Sure.
And you convert it to another voltage. And that's going to Richard May, to his arcade. He's importing a lot of stuff, which is nice. We got to get these arcade games back in these overseas arcades. They were sending everything back to us, and now we're sending them back to them. So some of them are crossing the ocean 3 times.
So I want to ask a question based, so all these arcades, right? We have Garcade, we have Galloping Ghost, we have TNT. Locally, we have Tilt and Up Down, and in Colorado, we have several one-up locations and other arcades around all the United States and the UK. And the primary function of these arcades is to socialize. And now we're under social lockdown, and now we're under quarantine. And it could be for a long time. I worry about all these small businesses. What's your take on that?
Well, we had tried to help our customers. We've done more. We're the second largest party place in the country. Chuck E. Cheese beat us out with parties, but I remember last year we counted the parties. We were over 25,000 parties at TNT Amusements since 1987. We were doing 900 a year.
That's one location?
Yes, just us.
Wow.
We booked 7 days a week, all day, Monday through Thursday, we had parties from 4 in the afternoon till 8:30 at night. And Friday, we had 3 parties. Saturday, we had 5 or 6. Sunday, we had 5 for years and years and years. And now we have children that were children, and they're having their parties at TNT. They're bringing their children in. So we're in another generation. All these people, of course, canceled their parties. We have a 3-month cancellation where you can rebook if somebody gets sick or such. We extended that for a whole year. So anybody who canceled a party has a whole year to rebook their slot and not lose their deposit. Now, we have some people that are hoping. We still have some parties booked for like April 8th, April 9th. They're hoping and hoping, but they probably will cancel. We were all hoping, because remember, originally they said it was going to be 2 weeks. And then that said, well, another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now, another 2 weeks. I don't know. It's interesting. I walk around the showroom now, and everything's dark, everything's off. Of course,
Sure.
We've been going in there to test boards and to try to get stuff working. The last minute stuff, the final machines going out the door. And of course, I had everything on the other day when we walked around the showroom filming stuff for the bargain basement. To try to move some stuff out to generate some cash, because people are sitting there and they have all these games and they can't open their doors. Forget the takeout. That just doesn't work. Daddy Pops, the diner I eat in, they have a takeout, but it's a disaster because people are just not making the effort. They're
Right.
going to a local McDonald's. They're not just driving, because Daddy Pops is out of the way. They only have one location, so their takeout business is dying. And from what I hear, a lot of people are having the same issues, and they're stuck at home. I can just see all kinds of issues cropping up, because you're going to be going out of your gourd just sitting around the house.
Yep.
I'm coming into TNT because I own the building and I'm checking up on things, and I just stay all day.
Well,
I get here about 10 in the morning. I don't leave until midnight.
And it's the nature of the beast too. Like this hobby that we love, we talk about this all the time. The reason and you were talking just about your favorite games being like 2-player games, and there's this social aspect to the hobby and to arcades in general. They were designed to bring people together to play games and to be competitive and to egg each other on and to discover new things and be social or antisocial or whatever. But you're with people is the point.
Yes.
And now we're threatened by that. We're threatened by this thing. And so I like solidarity. We all need to stick together, stay healthy, and recover when we're able to. And I think TNT will recover just fine. Somebody just said you might as well rename yourself Tuckey Cheese because you just about beat them up.
Oh. Well, they've been open longer. Oh, you know what? I have a video. I got the honor of roasting Nolan Bushnell, the man that started Chuck E. Cheese, and
Adam kind of did that too a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
That was at the banquet. Rob Burke asked me to come up with some fun questions. I had a couple conversations with his best friend, Eugene Jarvis, who is the genius behind these amazing games. My God, what a man he is. And
we've had him on a couple times.
He came up with some questions. One of the questions we asked Nolan at the banquet was, what machine did you guys make that should have come with this as standard equipment? And we showed a picture of a fire extinguisher. And Nolan knew which game it was. It was his pinball machine, the Atarians.
Oh.
Because there's no safeguards, and the Atarian pinball machines were catching on fire.
Well, I did not know that.
So they had to. That was their first pinball machine, and they had to make some serious corrections on that. But it was fun being able to talk to somebody who, pretty much started this craze, almost single-handedly. And it was such a great honor to be able to do that at that. So you got to catch that video.
I will check that
just go
out.
on YouTube, type in Nolan Bushnell roast, or TNT Amusements. It's on our site.
All right.
It's on our YouTube channel too. But we had a lot of fun. We asked him a bunch of questions. I did ask Mr. Jarvis. I said, "Do you think we should run these by him before we actually use them?" In other words, tell him what we're going to ask.
Yeah. Jarvis definitely said no.
He said he'll be fine. He said he'll be fine, and he was. He took it. He took some of the things good naturedly. So I didn't want to fluster the guy.
We had Eugene on twice, and you can't have 7-year-olds watch when he's on. So we had somebody in the chat say, Delusional says, "Hey Todd, I'm planning on making a future tour video with you, maybe with Richie. We'll make a road trip and talk." So he's looking at for it. So that's pretty cool.
I'd love it. Delusional. I met at Richie Knuckles Arcade. He's 90 minutes above us. Boy, it's in the woods. Boy, what a drive that is. And I'm not great at night driving.
Me neither.
It's part of my old age, but Richie has a really nice little arcade up there, and we were filming together. Actually, I have those videos up too. I've got tons of material. Yeah, you know what? Somebody said they're I get constant emails. People are binge watching me like 12 hours a day.
That's a lot.
So they're going to pick up a lot of my nasty traits.
One of the chatters is
screen. This is an interesting tour of Data East while they're building. That's the Simpsons pinball machine.
Oh, cool.
I was the only one with a video camera, and I filmed, I think, a 12-minute sequence of production of the Simpsons pinball. And of course, you hear the soundtrack. I was a long distance away. I always had a really good Sony camera with me that had super zoom on it. Cool. So I could go in real close. So that's another video that a lot of your people might want to see.
And that's on TNT's site also?
Yep. That's another one of our YouTube channel videos. I was just asked by Jay at the Internet Pinball Database.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't aware that I have the only picture, it's on the video, of the checkpoint prototype. 2 of them. They made 2 checkpoints with alphanumerical displays.
Oh, cool.
The game did not test well. So they did not release it. They left it on the shelf, and then they went to Dot Matrix. Everybody knew about the Dot Matrix games, and they rushed Checkpoint in. They converted it to Dot Matrix, and they were the first ones with the Dot Matrix game with the Checkpoint they weren't going to release originally.
Interesting.
So that was kind of, but I have pictures of it, and he asked to put them up for permission. Of course, I said, yeah, of course. Absolutely, put them up on the database. And guess what I'm doing now? This may intrigue you. A lot of you aren't aware of this. Jay said he can't give me credit, but we were having trouble shipping games cross country on trucks. We would look at the weight and we'd say, let's say it's 300 pounds and they give you a price to ship it. And then a month later, they would come back, oh, well, we reweighed your thing and it was 25 pounds heavier. Or it was 25 pounds later and we're billing you another $60.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that nice? So I bought a scale, a commercial scale. And for the very first time ever, we are putting the weights onto the Internet Pinball Database. You'll see the exact weight because I put it on the scale wrapped in plastic, but without the legs. And we stick it on the scale and it'll get an exact weight of the machine. Or with the legs, I mean. With the legs.
That's great.
And this way people will actually know that these games are actually lighter than we thought.
Yeah.
Doing that with the video games too. So for instance, Elevator Action is 260 pounds. That's the exact weight of it. So that also means with the same board set, you'll know that Jungle King and Jungle Hunt will be the same weight.
Right.
And so will Alpine Ski, that uses the same board set. And there's one other game at Frontline.
Oh,
right.
However, the weight won't be the same for Zookeeper because that has a different board system. So that would be a different weight altogether.
It'd be like a pound or two.
Did you know Donkey Kong is only 210 pounds?
Yes, the Nintendo's so light.
I love Nintendo.
It's like the opposite of Atari.
Oh, so Atari's like
metric ton.
Exactly. It's totally good.
And the Tron was 304 pounds.
Oh my God!
Ongoing 304 pounds.
What's the heaviest you've weighed?
Well, the heaviest would be me. No, we put the discs of Tron. I don't remember what it was, but we did get a weight for discs of Tron. But you see, it's not an accurate weight. It's an environmental without the back piece.
Oh.
So it was a conversion, and it wasn't. It didn't have the. No, it did have the logic board, but it was missing the mirror. The weight wouldn't be exactly right, because it was missing the mirror, and the mirror has got some poundage to it, probably 4 pounds, that big reflecting mirror in it. But anyway, I'm posting that. The Internet Pinball Database now has a line for everything I weighed so far, but they can't credit me because he said he'd have to credit everybody. But he said he'd do a post, say thanks to Todd for sending the weights in as I weigh them. Of course, I have to put them on the scale and weigh them. They have to be going out of here.
So we have like about 10 minutes left, and I want to get a couple of the chatters questions. And Yeti asks, hey, I know you liquidated your games in 2016, your cabarets. Have you started up a collection of those again? Do you have a modest collection, or are you?
Well, I didn't liquidate them all.
Oh.
I didn't sell them all.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I'm selling my Mr. Deuce Castle. I have not one but two Mr. Do Cabaret dedicated units.
Oh, cool.
Somebody bought one, believe it or not, dedicated. They actually made them. It was a kit that the manufacturer purchased from Universal that was designed to go in a specific cabinet. You'll see a video of that. We're going to be shipping that. It's going to Washington State. I still have a couple Moppets. I have the prototype Baby Pac-Man. There's a few others. Gosh, I have a couple Battlezone still. I didn't sell them all because the guy didn't want all of them. I was surprised, actually. It's a fellow in Michigan, real nice guy, Mike. I think he only bought 45 of them or 50.
Yeah.
Mark in Canada, I usually play the Canada scene. He's bought 85 machines from me so far. And he ended up with a lot of the cabarets. He's getting these 3 cabarets. My second Stargate, the Zaxxon I talked about earlier, and the Mr. Deuce Castle. I started collecting the cabarets for the stupidest reason. My wife said I could only have games out in the garage. When we got married, we had some rules.
Right.
She said I don't want any games in the house. That was
okay.
And I said I could live with that. I had a 2-car detached garage, but I said my cocktail digger is staying in the house, and she said you can keep that here. So I had one arcade game in the house until the Mega Touches came out, and then she wanted one of them. So we had a cabaret, we had a countertop Mega Touch too in the house. But in the garage, I had these games. I had pinballs. I had a brand new Funhouse I bought new. I had games in there, but I couldn't get that many games in because it was a 2-car garage. So I discovered, boy, I could put cabarets in here and get more. So that's what prompted me to collect the cabarets, is I could stuff more games in my garage.
Oh.
And that was and remember, I wasn't collecting games. I never collected games until my daughter was born. My daughter fell in love with the games, Tammy, and she loved the games. And that's when I actually started collecting the cabarets.
Oh, cool.
I said, hey, maybe I can get every one. I got my collection up to, I think, 100 of them. I think I had 100 different dedicated cabarets. They made that many.
Wow.
A lot of them. And
Well,
this included the new ones by team play.
Oh, yeah.
Fender, Stargate, and the Centipede, Millipede, Missile Command. I had them all. At one point. But college comes knocking.
Yes.
Speaking of Tammy and your family, Netropolis asks, are you all healthy?
Oh, yes. Everybody's doing well. Tammy works at a retirement home, and she will never be out of work because, of course, now they're all in lockdown too.
Yeah.
Terry is in her. She's finishing up her third year college. She wants to be a teacher. Neither girl is interested in the games, but they are coming in and helping. So they're able to assist me, listing stuff on eBay.
Oh, cool.
They host the parties here. At least they were.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so we got a couple more questions. We're going to wrap it up for tonight. Mark.
About that Arcade Jason one, I saw he was asking, are there any PCBs you think he should produce that you could be using for some of the games that you restore?
Well, then,
I guess it's like, you want some pole position PCBs? Like, what's your toughest, most frequent repair, I guess?
Well, Asteroids, it's hard to believe, but Asteroids is one of our best-selling games.
Huh.
Still.
That's
Miss
interesting.
Pac-Man is the #1 seller.
Miss Pac-Man, right.
Pretty much all the classics. The Galagas, the board is just like impossible to keep working.
Oh, God, I hate Galaga so much.
What happened is the chips,
the
IC, the ROMs were silver, the legs. And you have to pull the chip out and clean it with a fiberglass eraser. The best cleaning thing in the world, it's a fiberglass eraser made by the Eraser Company.
Mm-hmm.
And they sell this eraser. It's a blue. It's called Coarse. And these wonderful erasers, they're not cheap. But you can clean the black off those legs. You can wipe them clean. If you catch it before the leg starts to disintegrate and fall off, you're okay.
Yeah.
So you take each chip out. We brush them inside and out. We squirt some contact cleaner in that dissipates. It doesn't stay there. And put the chip back in. And then you're probably A-okay, unless the socket's bad.
Yeah.
Frank has a wonderful machine that sucks the sockets out. And we've been putting sockets in for years now. But for instance, if you have a WPC game, that logic board will run forever. But you have to put the switch chip in a socket because there's be some clodhopper under there that'll short out the switch line. Then you can change the chip in a second.
By the way, that's a good piece of advice. Like sockets, especially the older they get, the plastics get old and they're a single wipe. And you know when a socket is bad when you can slide a chip in and out by hand.
Oh, so, yes. As soon as if you can pull on the chip and it comes out, you got to change the socket.
And so if you get, even if you're like a pro and it's pretty easy to get a chip out, like that's a good sign. Time to put in a dual wipe socket.
Yes.
And on Williams boards, I've found personally that it's better to break off the top part of the socket and expose the pins, and then you can solder them and pull them out easier. There you go, a nice dual wipe socket. And you want something with a bracket in the middle, so there's that's a good quality socket.
Now listen, in fairness to these manufacturers, Williams, Gottlieb, Bally, these manufacturers made this equipment not for us collectors.
No, not at all.
They made the equipment to do one thing:
make money.
And then the equipment was supposed to get thrown out.
Right.
It was.
Yeah.
And here it is 40 years later.
And we're running.
And we're still playing Gorgar. Okay?
Oh, no.
And the board is still running.
Yeah. And Centaur.
And the #1 killer, the number one killer of pinball machines was the damn batteries.
Oh,
They
yeah.
Very true.
ruined hundreds of boards.
Yeah.
Hundreds of boards. And if that battery pack was not on those logic boards, most of them would still be running other than the crappy sockets. But for goodness sakes, it's 40 years later. So the sockets could be crappy.
Right, exactly. I mean,
we got all these years out of them. They
right.
weren't supposed to last this long, guys.
By the way, if
this stuff doesn't last.
Yeah, if you're a fan of pinball, you owe it to yourself to check out vendors like Alltech and Rotten Dog, and there's a few others that make really great replacement power boards and solenoid boards and all kinds of really great stuff.
They have saved so many games.
Yeah.
God bless the Dave at Alltech. God bless.
Yeah.
And the Rotten Dog, my goodness, that man has helped so many of us.
And the amazing thing is, like, the Alltech board, it's all surface mount, but he also puts the original sockets in. So if you have a bad component, a surface mount component, you could replace it with an old chip.
I've bought dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of Alltech boards, and I'm going to show you how many have gone bad. You ready?
Two. Okay, that's pretty good.
And you know why they went bad? Because some fool was changing stuff with the power on. Sorted out the chip. But guess how quick you could fix an Alltech board?
Yeah, because
like that.
Put in the old chip. Yeah,
that's right. And also, I have to mention the 9-month board, the wonderful new Mark II board for the System 1s. Oh my gosh, what a wonderful board!
Cool, Brian, are you listening?
You can update your old System 1, your Cleopatra, your Sinbad, and you can have it have a skill shot now.
No,
it has memory features. Oh, what a great deal! The board's under $200.
That's
You'd
great.
be a fool not to upgrade your System 1 board. But remember, you got to put a new power supply in it. Do not use the System 1 power supply, the original one.
Yeah.
It sucks. Do not rebuild it. Buy a new one.
Man, Todd, your language is so bad on this show.
Oh, it sucks.
Wow, we're going to have to bleep that.
I'm making a little penny. She's heard that word.
Yes. That one's
fine. All right,
fine.
well, Todd, I want you to stick around after the show. Just hang out with us. We can wind down with you for a couple minutes before you hit the hay. Do you have anything during this time of pandemic crisis any advice for our listeners before we sign off for tonight?
Buy all of Todd's stuff that he had in the last video. Go.
Go shop on our eBay store, please.
Yes.
On our website, we got interactive stuff on the website. We have a walkthrough, one of those Google 360s. You'll walk around. Cool. Certainly mine, our channel, we got tons and tons of videos. You'll even catch me floating, like here. I do some floating. Got plenty of great stuff coming while you're stuck in the house. We're going to still try to bring videos out. I only, as I said, I just have to be able to get here and log on and then edit. The worst case scenario for me is I'll bring the movie computer home to the house and edit there. But I still think I need to come into TNT and make sure everything's okay. Everybody needs to hang on there, through this crisis until it's over. And it will come to an end. It will end. We just don't know when.
Exactly.
And I'm hoping people are going to hang on, keep their arcades. They had to shutter their doors. Randy at Randyland, he had to shutter. Down on the boardwalk, a lot of you have followed him and his exploits. We have the Pinball Silver Ball Museum up on in Asbury Park. We've got the Morristown Game Vault. We have the Pinball Gallery in Malvern. They're all having issues. We just got to hang on there, guys.
Right.
Well, yeah. And I'm going to give a shout out for Todd's got 852 items on eBay. So anybody who needs anything, go check it out and support them, because this is the time that that all these guys need support.
I could use the dough.
And visit TNT Amusements. Go to the Facebook page, like him, ring the little bell so that you can watch his videos when they come up. And stay tuned because we're going to have him on again in a year. We're going to see how this all shakes out. Okay,
a whole year.
Well, okay, we'll check with you 6 months. How's that?
Good. That's a good
we miss
deal.
you too. All right, so okay, cool. Mark, should we wrap this up, you guys?
Yeah, we're ready.
All right, hang in, Todd.
I'm not blacked out yet.
You're not.
Awesome.
This is good. This is good. Thanks for listening in, guys. This has been a great show. We'd love to have Todd on tonight. It's been the double R's. That's Arcade Radio.
Like us at Facebook at Arcade Radio, or check us out on the semi-regularly updated blog at arcaderadio.com. That's RCADERADIO.com.
Call and leave comments and questions on the game line. That's 612-548-GAME or 4263.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you know when we're streaming live. It's right there. Just do it.
Do it. You can also subscribe to our podcasts on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play Music, and wherever podcasts are streamed.
All right. That's going to be it for the show. From the Arcade Radio team, we hope you had a great time, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Oh, yeah. Pull over. Pull over. Oh, no. Because you like my DeLorean? Is that it? Last week I was doing stuff like this.
Here comes a big finish. I kind of like those lights. You have to have them every week, Brian.
Yep.
It's just awesome.